Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified Doctor of Naturopathy, Dr. Stephen Cabral, shares with you exactly how you can reverse aging, take back your health, and live a life full of energy and passion, with new 20-minute episodes every single day to keep you healthy and engaged. Now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Welcome, everybody. We're here today with our Friday review. So good to be with you towards the end of the week. If you're listening to this show live, of course, every single Friday, I do a Friday review. Been doing that now for 8+ years. Love to give you the updates from what's going on inside of our clinical functional medicine integrative health practice, as well as what might be happening at Equilife, IHP, and much more. Then we go through a podcast recap for what you may have missed from shows for the week. We'll go over a product review, which I have right here. You won't want to miss this one, for anti-aging based skin benefits, specifically around the eyes. Then we'll go over a book review. This one is it's a gold mine of information in terms of longevity, fasting, intermittent fasting, and much more for longevity. Then I'll go over some research, which actually combines conventional medicine and natural health, maybe for even greater effect. I'll share that with you, see what you think about it. Obviously, would love to hear what you think in the comments. And then I'll bring you a drug that is being proposed for Alzheimer's, and I'd love to get your thoughts as well. All right, once again, thanks so much for tuning into the show. I always like to give you just that personal update for the week. If you're not interested in the personal update, that's okay. You can just fast forward this part. But what I always like to give you is this is a running log every Friday, a running video-based diary of just kind of where my head's at, what I've been thinking inside the practice. And we've been absolutely so busy with finishing all of our high-performance health-based material, everything to help people live past 100 healthily, learn true advanced biohacking, healthy biohacking, and personalize it for themselves as well. But it's one of those things where I just kind of see, again, we're moving right now to the very end, or I guess the midpoint of summer, how it just flies by. So my best advice for myself, and I can only give advice for myself really, is just to find in life what you love to do and the people that you love to do it with, and try to spend as much time as you can doing that, because the time just moves by so quickly. And when I look at it, people spend so much of their time with their work. They also spend a lot of that time with their family, maybe if they're lucky, extended family, friends, those types of things. But the truth is that we can only focus our time on so much. So I've been fortunate enough to find, my calling, what I love to do for work. So when I'm working, although it's a lot of work, it doesn't feel like it. It's what I enjoy doing. And then I go home, I see my 2 beautiful daughters, my beautiful wife, I enjoy my family, and then I have friends and people up on the weekend. It's a good life, and it goes by quick. I mean, it really does. And as someone who got sick at a very young age, at 17 years old, I've always appreciated how quickly life goes by, because I was told that I had diagnosed diseases that were never going to go away, that they were terminal, and that I wouldn't live that long a life. And so now that I overcame them, I still haven't left, though, the mindset of the gratitude, of being appreciative for the moments that I do have. And I just wanted to share that with you. So one other item going on over inside the functional medicine practice that I wanted to share with you is brand new glyphosate toxicity testing. So over 280 million pounds a year are sprayed just in the United States. It's almost 1 pound per person sprayed on your food every year. And that is a shocking amount of a chemical neurotoxin, which is an herbicide known as glyphosate. So what I recommend is just everybody find out their levels, and if needed, detox it out of your body. Get more serious about staying away from glyphosate-based sprayed foods for yourself, your children, etc. This is a simple urine-based test. You can run yourself, you can run with your kids, you can run with your whole family, and I want to offer it to you at 50% off. This is literally 50% off of the price, and it still comes with all of our recommendations and a very simple summary of what it all means, and of course, how you can improve if your levels are high. You can find that right now at stephencabral.com/glyphosate for a limited time. stephencabral.com/glyphosate, and that's GLYPHOSATE, but I'll make it easier for you. All of today's show notes, including the glyphosate toxicity lab, will be available at stephencabral.com/2730. 2730. That's today's show. All right, recap for the week. 27-26, that was Monday's show. And it was explaining why winners always seem to win, right? Like why some people always seem to win, and how you can reverse engineer that and make it happen in your life as well. So that was a really fun show. Anybody can do this. Winners sometimes don't even know that they're doing it, but they are. And you can teach yourself to be that same exact or have that same exact winning mindset. And that's what I want for you. Tuesday's show was how meditation changes the brain for the better, and why this does not have to be something that's arduous or difficult to complete, that anybody can add a little bit of meditation and mindfulness and brain quieting throughout their day, and it does so much for you. Wednesday's show was all about finding very specific foods that you can eat. And I show you my exact lunch and all of those different things where you get to actually eat a lot of food. I'm someone that has a pretty big appetite. I very much enjoy eating, but I don't want to overeat in terms of overall calorie surplus, right? Especially when you're trying to work on anti-aging, high performance health, etc. But I show on Instagram all the time this enormous lunch that I eat and how it's less than 500 calories, and how can that be possible, right? And it's all these plant-based foods, and I go through what it is. And you don't have to be plant-based to do this, because I share with you how I can eat fish and other things like that as well. So I share that, the exact breakdown, what you should be looking for on Wednesday's show. All these shows are at stephencabral.com/podcasts. That was episode, let's just see the number on that, 2728. Yesterday's show, 2729, was an actual glyphosate toxicity lab test. So you can see what it looks like when someone's high in glyphosate, and what to do if you are high in glyphosate. That was yesterday's show. Again, all show notes today are at 2730. All right, we've got our product review for the week. And this week, it is a second product by a company called OneSkin. I'm actually showing you my bottle right now. So if it's not perfect, it's not OneSkin's fault. That's mine. I actually use their products. They have great products. Before working with them, or just using their products, I should say, I had a super simple skincare routine. Like basically wash my face, use a little argan oil, and I'm good to go, right? Like, so just a little bit, that was the natural moisturizer. But, and I've sent many emails on this, there comes a point where you do want to start working on your skin. And I waited until my mid-40s. I probably don't recommend it for other people, but it just wasn't first on my list. That's all. So although I still have a very simple skincare routine, I use the OS1 skin-based moisturizer, which I want to go, it's not a moisturizer, right? It moisturizes your face. Yes, it blocks the moisture from leaving. It has powerful plant-based antioxidants in it, but it also has a specific peptide, which is basically a senolytic. So it is the first skin-based peptide which removes zombie cells under the skin, which is one of the main reasons why your skin ages. It gets different skin discolorations and marks. It gets more wrinkles. It doesn't look as vibrant. So with this OS1 has clinically been proven to do in 3 studies. I believe it's at least 3 studies now, and I can link it up as well at the show notes today, is that it removes these zombie cells, these senolytic-based cells. And so, or senescent-based cells as a senolytic. A senolytic is something that removes senescent-based cells. So they have one that's for the whole face. They have one that's the body too, if you want to use a body. But this one is specifically for around the eyes. Why this one around the eyes? Because we know that there are certain properties and herbs that you can use to help with under-eye swelling and dark circles, etc. I did a whole email on this. I do hope that you subscribe to my newsletter. You can just opt in anywhere, email-wise at stephencabral.com, and you'll get it. But I gave you all the different reasons for under-eye circles and bags. And I'll just give you real quick. So 1, dehydration. 2, allergies. 3, lack of sleep. 4, low pH in quotation marks. 5, food sensitivities. 6, digestive issues. 7, low oxygen. 8, anemia, low iron, which goes around with the low oxygen as well. 9, low levels, potentially of B12, vitamin E, vitamin K, vitamin D. And if none of those are the issue, well, you can join the lucky hereditary genetic boat that I'm in, where you have thinner skin underneath the eyes. You have flatter cheeks like me, no puffy cheeks, just flat cheeks basically. And you have darker capillaries underneath the eyes. So You'll notice some people in your, your family tree have darker circles. Some people don't. Like I look at my wife, obviously we're not related, but my wife doesn't have circles. And when I look, even at my kids, okay, my youngest daughter has them. Unfortunately, I have them, but my oldest daughter doesn't. Like, it's just like, that's part of it, right? That's part of who we are. It makes us unique in our own way. It's, like I don't try to fight those specific types of genetics. I can't change these specific things, but you can at least work with them, right? Like that's what I look to do. And so this is a product that contains things that can also help with those areas besides the OS1, which is good for the aging skin, and the eyes age faster than basically the rest of the face because there's less of that collagen. There's less of the, or I should say just wrinkles faster because the skin is thinner. So caffeine, it contains also Moringa oleifera, Fucus vesiculosus, as well as collagen inside of this product to help with under eye circles and under eye aging. So I'm going to link it up as well as a discount. Let me see if I can find the discount code, unless you just want to jump, in case you want to jump to that yourself. My team typically gives one to me because what we do is we reach out to these amazing companies. We say, we like your product. We want to offer it to our audience. Would you be willing to offer a discount? And usually they are. See if I can find the email. The discount code is Cabral15 for 15% off. It looks like the URL is stevencabral.com/eye-cream. stevencabral.com/eye-cream. Next up, we are going over our book review of the week, and that is The Longevity Diet by Valter Longo. This is actually, it's not a re-review, but it's a reread for me, probably multiple reread. You can see how used this book is. I really do dog ear and use up the books that I read. I still love reading hard copy books. The reason is that is how I learn. I learn by the basically tactile touch and my eyes scanning the page almost as an image. So people learn in different ways. My wife learns auditorily. So she learns by hearing, by listening to things. I am not that person. I've shared this before, but I can't tell you the lyrics to basically any song in the world. I don't learn that way. It's so strange. But if you show me those lyrics on a piece of paper, I'll memorize it, like that. So we all learn just in different ways. I don't learn by listening, basically. So for me, in college, the best thing I could do was get the notes, right? Or read the book. But when it was basically only auditory wise, I devised my own style for learning where it was all bulleted and I could basically take snapshots of the information. So that's what allowed me to be able to pass and get good grades and all those things, is that I had to develop a style that works for me. Anyway, all that to say is that I've read thousands upon thousands of books, and because that's how I learn, right? So a lot of people like to listen to podcasts, all those things, which is great, but I don't spend my time as much doing that in long form. Of course, I love listening to short shows because I don't learn that way, right? So everybody has their own way. Having said all that, again, we're finishing up High Performance Health, and inside of that, I teach fasting in depth. Well, the book, The Longevity Diet by Valter Longo, it came out about 5-6 years ago. Read it then, really interested in it. I liked it, but I didn't love the commercialization of it with a specific, I don't know the right way to say this. And by the way, that's not tied to Valter Longo and has nothing to do with him. So it's not his company from what I understand. So it's no slate on him. Here's the thing. Food is food, supplements are supplements. I just want to state that. So I don't like to eat a lot of packaged food. When I eat food, I want it to be as much as possible in its whole form. So fruits and vegetables, what they look like in nature. Sure, nuts and seeds, they can come in a package, but they haven't been adulterized in any way, right? They haven't been messed up in any way by humans. Same thing, I get my meat, my fish, all those things as close to nature as I can. And that's what I like it to be. If you're taking supplements, different story, right? Food comes first, and then you supplement your diet with the supplements that you need. So anyway, all this to say, inside of his book, he talks about the fasting mimicking diet. I wanted to share it with you today because you can do it on your own, and it's so much easier than you think. And I don't think that you need all the wrapper-based products that could be sold to you with it, in my opinion. Okay, here's what it is. It's basically 5 days, and it's 400 calories a day, coming from vegetables, okay? and we'll look at it as non-starchy vegetables, broccoli and cauliflower and carrots and bok choy and all these great things, right? Okay, so 400 calories a day. And if you listen to my show this week, it was Wednesday's show, you know how much food 400 calories is. It's enormous. You can basically eat 4 to 5 cups of vegetables minimum for, let's say, lunch, if you wanted to, or do like 3 or 4 cups at breakfast, 3 or 4 cups at lunch, 3 or 4 cups at dinner. And you can do it's approximately 3 to 3.5 tablespoons of olive oil total per day. Because I simplify things in my own mind. Like I like to make things like, what does this really mean? 400 calories from vegetables, 400 calories from fat. All right, well, a tablespoon of olive oil is about 130 calories. So 3 of those is about 400. Great. All right. So about 3 tablespoons of olive oil per day, which is the recommended best fat. So now we also then can eat our veggies. And so what do? Well, we put the olive oil just on the veggies, right? Afterwards, don't cook with it. And so you can bake your veggies. You can do them raw as a salad, whatever you like. So here's what I want to share with you though. It's so easy to do because you can literally just bake, if you wanted to, 3-4 cups of vegetables at a time, add your 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil to it, mix it up. I don't think that there's any issue with adding a little bit of sea salt. I haven't seen any issues with that. But you don't have to, right? You can keep it clean. And that's it. And it's a very easy way to mimic fasting. Here's the thing though. It's still not true fasting. So I just want to share that with you. The studies and results are unbelievable, and I'm about to share one next. But there is a point for some people where you want to truly fast, because fasting is also digestive rest. So some people want to do a water fast for a reason. I'm not going to get into that today. They're not exactly the same thing because your body's still getting the nutrients in. It's still getting food in. Yes, it has been scientifically proven to mimic a lot of the benefits of fasting and autophagy. And it's been proven in the book and it's very well done. So I don't want to overlook that. This could be an easier way to move into something like a functional medicine detox, which is 2 days, 2.5 days, technically, almost 3, of what's essentially water fasting with supplements, with nutrients. So I wanted to share that with you. It's a good book, worth reading. Now I'm going to get into I always give you 2 research studies every Friday. All right, so here's the first one. They show this in the book, and this is done with a fasting mimicking diet, and it's also done even with water fasting. If you're someone, and so this is where I have to give you my disclaimer, I'm not here to provide any medical advice, medical treatment plans, medical cures, or medical diagnosis. If you are someone that has cancer and you're looking for maybe a little bit of an integrative approach, I can't go through all of it today. Fasting with chemotherapy seems to be one of the most amazing breakthroughs of the last 5 years. It seems to be absolutely remarkable. And I'm someone that's not a huge fan of conventional medicine and the barbaric way of going about trying to fix the body, because they're not, right? They're trying to, with chemotherapy, they're literally trying to kill your body, but kill the cancer cells faster than they kill you, right? That's it. But which is absolutely, it's just remarkable. It's unbelievable that if you're to fast a couple days before, during chemotherapy, and then a couple days after, not only does it seem to be more protective for the body, meaning the chemotherapy does not hurt your body as much, but it hurts the cancer cells to an even greater degree. And when you actually look at the studies, you say, okay, fasting gets people oftentimes the same results as chemotherapy. Again, not providing any medical advice or giving any medical treatment plans at all. But when you combine fasting and chemotherapy, the results from an unbiased perspective were almost twice as good. I mean, it's remarkable. So I wanted to share that with you because in good consciousness, I couldn't not. So I wanted to share that with you. All right. So again, that's inside the longevity diet, and there's lots of studies. You can literally just look up fasting and chemotherapy. P53 is one of the ways in which it works. But anyway, I could go down a rabbit hole on that, and I will. I will absolutely do that in the future on natural health-based modalities and cancer. If you're interested, again, just let me know in the comments. All right. one last research study for the day, and I'm going to make this quick because I know we're at our time. There is a drug that they're coming out with. Forgive me if it's not the correct pronunciation. It's called lecanemab. It's LECANEMAB. Okay. So this is now about 6, 7, 8 months old. It is shown, though, for those that have received the drug, a 27% less cognitive decline from Alzheimer's disease than the placebo. Those are very clinically significant results. Very clinically significant. So I wanted to share that with people who, in my opinion, are not willing, who have parents, grandparents that are not willing to follow all of the things that I've laid out inside of High Performance Health and inside of the different podcasts. I was even talking about this last week. I've shared a 3-part series on how to test for Alzheimer's decades in advance. I also shared the MEND protocol on how they were able to reverse Alzheimer's and dementia in 9 out of 10 people. And the only person they weren't able to, with all natural protocols, is someone with terminal Alzheimer's. So there is, though, a drug that's being developed that can be helpful in this way. I can't recommend it. I mean, only to those people who aren't willing to do what I state on these podcasts, again, which is completely free. However, there's a big caveat. This drug, $28,000 a year. $28,000 a year. So who's even able to afford this particular drug? Yeah, it may work. It may slow cognitive decline by 27%, but it's $28,000 a year. It's an enormous amount of money. How much is that? It's almost $2,500 a month, right? So a lot of money. I just want to share that with you. I have lots of shows on Alzheimer's. I do hope that you check them out, especially for yourself, early detection, for family members, and so much more. All the research today, all the links, all the product reviews, the books will be at stephencabral.com/2730. Have an amazing weekend, everybody. I'll talk with you soon tomorrow on the Cabral House Calls. Before you go, I wanted to share a personal story with you. The real reason I began to get well finally is because I figured out what was wrong with me. And that might seem pretty obvious, but I went from doctor to doctor for over 2 years before discovering at-home functional medicine lab testing. These are the labs that enabled me to finally figure out what was wrong with my hormones, blood sugar, electrolytes, and gut health. And once I knew what was wrong, I could then follow a proven plan in order to rebalance my body from the inside out. This is why I believe so strongly in functional medicine lab testing and why I've made it my mission to share these labs with the world. Now at equa.life, you can order an at-home lab test or lab bundle for you and your family and be able to complete it within the week. Plus, the EquaLife difference is that you're not left to try to read and figure out these labs on your own. We explain what your lab numbers mean, what they mean in the much bigger picture, and then how to go about rebalancing your body in order to heal. To see our full selection of lab tests or to set up a free lab selection call to find out what labs may be best for you, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. And do remember, we ship these all over the world. To find out more and to set up your free lab selection call, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. That's EQUI.LIFE/labs.